start the meeting. We'll start with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear wise and loving Father, thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of serving the community. I pray you give us wisdom to govern, a sense of the true needs of our residents, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony. I pray for the agenda set before us tonight. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live in, work in, and around the village of Hicksville. It is in your most blessed name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, as Bill Murphy just announced, those who are watching this on TV, there was just a delay because we had trouble hooking up to MediaCom tonight, so that's why we're not live. Not hiding anything. So may I have roll call, please?
Baker.
Here.
Barth.
Here.
Bassett.
Here.
Beverly.
Here.
Headley.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Thank you. You have your April 17th regular council meeting minutes in your packet. I would entertain a motion to approve those.
I have a correction, Mayor.
Okay?
It says that Beverly had told several law enforcement organizations around the area, and of 16, 11 had no ordinance to follow, and 5 did. It's the other way around.
Sorry, I missed where you're reading at.
I got it.
So it's
Oh,
11 have an ordinance, no bicycles. 3 were a little iffy, and 2 were definitely not. But
okay. We'll get that corrected in Cheryl's minutes.
other than that, I make a motion to approve.
Okay?
I would second.
Roll call, please.
Jones.
Yes.
Headley.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Barth.
Yes.
Baker.
Yep. Okay. You have the approved bills list in your packet.
I have a question on the Slider Oil Sewer Vehicle Expense, $524.70. What can Slider Oil do to a sewer vehicle?
I charged the barrel of oil
Ah, so it wasn't the
to that
vehicle.
department, so.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then, get on this same soapbox I'm always on. It's $900 a month for,
Since we've added the new meters. And I'm gonna touch on that in my report.
okay.
Not that, but things in general, so.
Any other questions about the bills list?
What's a water locator?
The line located.
Oh, the line locator.
Very important.
I move we approve the bill.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baker.
Yes.
Barth.
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Headley.
Yes.
Jones.
Okay. You have a public notice that there is going to be a zoning change request. Oh, this has to be done tonight, right? Is this a notice or is this actual hearing tonight?
This is just a hearing for the Ocean Street.
This is a public hearing by council tonight then.
Yeah, council will vote on the 15th.
Oh, not tonight. This is just a notice, okay. So then, at a regular council meeting on Monday, May 15th, there's a request for a rezoning by Chris Health at lot 142 Shoe Factory Edition with a physical address of 727 Ocean Street. It's presently zoned M1 light industrial, and the request is to rezone it to R4 single family, multiple family dwelling. And then we have a notice of public hearing for the Board of Zoning Appeals. It's for a setback variance on Wednesday, May 17, at 4 o'clock in the zoning inspector's office at 108 North Main Street. The application submitted by Nelson Hirschberger is a request to change the setback at the front of the lot located at 304 Wendell Avenue. The request is to change the setback from 50 foot to 20 foot for the construction of a multi-purpose building. And then we have minutes from a planning commission meeting that was held April 27th. So, okay. Anything else about those? All right. Council committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report on their meetings?
It was, you have the sidewalk committee minutes in here, and we had touched on that at the last meeting. Everybody thought it'd be a wonderful idea. I went and spoke with Slattery Oil, spoke with Subway, the manager, and I spoke with the property owner, and I talked with Bob's. Actually, I spoke with Heath. Everybody thinks it'd be a great thing. So I think we should get our administrator right on that. Now, Slattery does not want any blocks. He just wants the sidewalk lines painted, which would not be a bad idea to continue them all the way past those businesses. But we will put blocks in front of Subway and Bob's so that we have at least a 4-foot sidewalk. So I mean, the blocks would have to set back at about 6 because you have a couple feet of front end hanging out there after they roll up and touch them. If everybody still agrees with it.
Are there any objections to putting blocks in front of Subway,
Nope, I think it's a
Bob's
great
Auto, and then painting stripes at the marathon?
Curb stops, right?
Right.
Yeah, concrete curb blocks.
All right.
I can't believe it hasn't been done before, thought of before. That was a good idea.
And then I also, have you went past park board meetings?
I haven't, but bring it up, whatever you have.
In the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth paragraph from the bottom, it says that they are opening June 2nd, and they're going to fill the pool sometime towards the end of May, and that's when they're going to check for the leak after it's filled. I thought they kind of had an idea of where the leak was.
I don't think they do.
No, they do not know where the leak is. Gary thinks the leak is right there where the water is coming from the meter into the pool house. He thinks it's there, but he's not for sure.
It's not a leak in the pool, it's a leak someplace
We're not
else?
for sure. I mean, we're losing thousands of gallons of water, so it's either, some of it could be coming there, some of it could come from somewhere else. So we, at our last park board meeting, we did decide to go ahead, and once they start filling the pool, the house will come in and check for leaks.
They did a couple quotes, they had a couple companies submit their proposals to check the leak. Some looked a little high, so I think they got somebody, I'm not sure who they went with. But they went with it, but they wanted the water in the pool because their equipment goes and scans for some type of, they wanted it filled rather than empty when they did it, so get a little less money, quite a bit of less money
Yeah,
than the other people coming out of
the
Toledo.
one out of that apartment.
Where I think Defiance came in with the better price, if I remember right.
We have Mr. Belton here, we have Mr. Hart here. Does anybody have any questions for them regarding anything that you read in the park board meeting minutes or anything? All right. Anything else, Mr. Beverly, that you wanted to bring up at this time?
I'm done, Mayor, thank you.
Any other committee reports? Well, you have in your packet the beautification committee minutes, just because we're really working hard right now to get ready for our plant sale, and since they're turned in, I give them to Cheryl and she puts them in the packet. Looks like the finance committee met to audit the books.
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Anybody? All right, then we'll go on to the administrator's report.
Well, the first two items I was hoping to get out to the public, so I guess we'll have to depend on the newspaper to do it. First one, people have particular questions, they can address them to Jeff, but people just have to quit flushing things down their stools or running things into their drains that don't belong in the sewer. We've been having a lot of pumps we've been having to pull, or the sewer guys have been having to pull, especially down at Defiance Avenue lift station. They look like shop rags. I don't know if we'll be able to trace them back anywhere or not, but people are just flushing a lot of things that shouldn't be in the sewer. It just costs us time and effort to keep people from backing up. Denon Drive still has some issues at times too, so just try to watch what you flush. The other thing concerns mowing. I know we talked to the mayor and Mike Bailey last week about contacting people, but try not to bale hay out in the streets when you're mowing, because all it does is plug up our sewers, which again creates issues. So people just try to keep their grass in their yard. I know you might have to rake or mow it before you have to rake it, whatever, but try to keep it out of the streets just to prevent things from plugging up. Otherwise, you got general pickup. It was one of the heavier ones, just a hair under 75 tons. Requests for proposals are due May 12th. So I said, once I get those, I'll bring them to council on the 15th. Street department position, I'm taking applications till the 8th. Michael Klein left for other employment. I don't know the timeline of when I'm going to do the interviews yet. I might wait and see what comes in as far as the trash end of things. Bid opening for East Cornelia, the sewer job's May 23rd. If anybody wants to attend that, it's posted out on the board already. As far as me being out of town tomorrow, I might end up coming back in the afternoon, depends on when I get back from a personal appointment. And then to touch on the metering and things in general with EPA, I sent them a letter in January and another one in February, asking them to please reconsider making us do Chicago Avenue for various reasons, and also to eliminate the metering in favor of just going by the number of CSO events we have, because that's really what they're interested in. Finally got an answer back saying no such luck. So next step, trying to arrange a date here in May to go talk to them in person and see if we can convince them in person versus the letter. They both seem pretty straightforward and common sense to me, but evidently that doesn't work with the EPA on this one. I'd like to trade the job we did on Pearl Hattery for Chicago Avenue. And like I said, I'd like to get away from the metering altogether and just go by our CSO event history. So once I get that arranged, I'll let water sewer people know if they want to go along.
Where do you have to go?
Bowling
Green, I think, yeah.
They thought that they'd get Columbus on a conference call if need be. And if they still buy, if they will buy into it, then we're gonna have to put something in writing, which means spending some money to put that together, proving, well, Pearl, Columbia, Hattery would make up for Chicago Avenue with different flow data and things like that. Because Chicago Avenue is going to be a big drainage project. It's not going to help CSOs much at all. And I think at the same time, I'm going to look at the Northeast Quadrant project, because that was just going to be a big pond for drainage. I don't think it was going to do that much for CSO stuff. But we'll see when we meet first and kind of go from there. If they let us get rid of the metering, then Ron can rest easy, that bill will go away.
Like I said, months ago, even if they just let us meter at the import of the sewer plant.
They want before and after in all the spots. And it's tied into our long-term control plan, that's why they're making us stick to it. I still say, if, when Jeff sends in his monthly report, it shows we had X number of CSOs, that's a better way to judge the results than we got rid of 5 million gallons of water.
Right, because when they're saying, well, we need to know how much water this took out and that took out, but if you, prior to, on an average year, say you were taking 60 million gallons a day in there, we do these 3 or 4 projects, we're down to 3 million gallons a day. That's got to tell them that, hey, what we're doing is working. Without all
Not
this
necessarily.
independent monitoring.
Well, no, because they want all the CSOs still monitored. Plus the project areas that we've put in get new meters. And here again, Jeff can maybe address it, but let's say we get rid of 10 million gallons during a rain event. We could still have a CSO event that puts us in Dutch. So in my opinion, all they need to worry about is where we're having CSOs. And if we show we got rid of that one, or reduce them to the acceptable level, all this metering is a waste of our time and money.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be like talking to this table too, so
Yep.
we'll find out more, I guess, after we meet.
It took him a long time to respond to your first
Oh, I know.
email and everything, and then you had to refresh his memory, and then he responded finally, so. I think Kit and Jeff's got a good case, I think we do, once we go up there and maybe have a face-to-face with them, and gotta try.
Definitely.
Other than
Can't-
that, unless there's-
Where all did you advertise for a street department employee?
just as a tribute,
Okay, and how many applicants do you have so far?
we've gotten 3 new ones. The 3 or 4 left. The 3 or 4 I had from previous
Okay,
would still be in the pile too.
alrighty.
Where did your guy take off to?
Over in the Fort Wayne area for a lot more money.
Anybody have any questions for Kent about his report? Thank you. We will go on to the solicitor's report.
First thing I have is ordinance 2017-12, second reading by caption only, an ordinance authorizing the village fiscal officer to transfer funds. And the next is resolution 2017-08, a first reading by caption only, a resolution strongly opposing the state of Ohio, which proposes centralized collection of net profit tax returns and other provisions related to the municipal income tax, which will cause a substantial loss of revenue needed to support the health, safety, welfare, and economic development efforts of Ohio municipalities, and declaring an emergency. But it wasn't on the agenda for tonight, so we're gonna just do it as a first reading.
Okay,
I thought they voted that down.
Yeah, this is a different, I think Cheryl knows part of it, they've kind of.
The big
abandoned
one's
it.
gone. Now they just picked out the part they want,
Right,
and it's still in.
right.
I'll keep picking until they get it,
And then once they get it,
unless we try and.
then they'll expand it, once they get it through.
thank you, Troy. Do you have anything else you need to update council on?
The only thing that I have is I have been in communication with the clerk over in Sherwood about that income tax collection. She sent me last week, she was sending me a copy of their current contract so that we could, but only the contract she sent me was actually not, let's see how I can word this. It wasn't for the collection of the income tax, it was an agreement they had with the other company about using their software and all of that. So I emailed her back and said, I don't need that contract, I need more about the collection. And I haven't gotten anything back from her, but I need to follow up with her. And then we'll be able to get that.
Is everything all taken care of now with Haynes Trucking, or is there something outstanding with
The
that?
only thing is, I think I gotta get with Jerry Hayes to get a signature on the deed. And then that, yeah, but we have everything from Rodney and everything, and then that will be all cleaned up.
Good,
He signed everything when we had that meeting with him.
good.
Yep.
I guess we are ready to go ahead then with the department head reports. Police Chief Stickney? You're ready to get right out of your chair and get up there and get that report.
Excuse me. Slip in here. Okay. I'd like to announce that on the drug take-back program this time, we took 31 pounds of medications in from people that were disposed of properly. Also, to update on our 3 officers we just hired, they've all had their physicals. The last one will be sworn in tonight after the meeting, if that works okay. And then they'll all be starting full-time work this week. Any questions or anything?
Okay,
Good job.
thank you very much. Don't believe Fire Chief Kramer's here. I talked to him earlier today and he was still at work. So EMS Chief Kessler.
As you guys know, Cody is gone this week to tactical training, and we were originally going to just leave this week open and hope for a good week. After our last council meeting, one of our volunteers offered to come in and work the full 40 hours at a rate of $10 an hour. So I had sent out the email to the PFE committee, and then it was sent on to everyone. I would just like to have a motion made that we could go ahead and get that put on record.
I have one concern, and Cheryl pointed out to me that the part-time pay for an EMT wasn't quite up to $10 an hour. Did you say it was like,
1093.
oh, $10.93, okay. He's willing to do it for 10. I thought it was $9.93 is what you were telling me. So Lonnie came to me after the meeting, and I said I really couldn't give permission for it, that I think the entire council needed to vote on hiring someone part-time for a week to cover Cody while he was gone. So if someone feels so inclined to make a motion to pay him to work this week for $10 an hour, that would be great. At the same time, do you want this to be good for your vacation coming up in July too?
Right. Scott and I had talked, and when we plan weekly vacations or extended training and things like that, we would like to be able to just open it up to the volunteers and whoever is available to take that week to be able to put them into that position. And on the other hand, I realize that if I decide spur of the moment I want to take a vacation day, that I'm still on call. I can stay at home and have my vacation pay, but if we get a run, I'm still going to respond to that run. But this would only be for extended vacations if we're taking, 3 or 4 days, 5 days at a time, or extended training hours.
Well, my opinion would be that we just make this something that you can do. You've done a good job of keeping things full and running, and you don't need this council micromanaging you as far as when somebody can take a vacation or something. So instead of just doing it for this particular time and then another particular time and then we'll talk about it again, I think you ought to just do it. Give her that authority.
Yeah, I would second Eric's motion, but I think probably you're gonna have to put that in ordinance form. It's gonna be, maybe I'm wrong, or do we just vote on it? She needs the approval now.
Thinking.
But, doling it out.
I mean, we ordinance ourselves to death.
Right. Doling it out, we just, she has to come and talk to the committee, and then, everybody's got to talk to, and
All she gotta do is talk to the mayor, that's the direct go.
The
The only thing
part-time,
I can
she
think
talked to us. I know
off the
that.
top of my head is the implication between volunteers and quote employees and any implication that might have. Probably should put, if we're gonna authorize it or whatever, probably should put something in, and they probably should be paid whatever the rate is that specifies.
that's already in the ordinance.
Yeah, that's already in the ordinance, but I'm saying, I know we offered to do it with 10, but if the rate's 10 whatever, that's probably what the pay should be.
So we can okay this one for this week,
Right.
and then you'll bring back.
Yeah. I would second Eric Bassett's motion.
Roll call, please.
Baker,
Yes.
Barth,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Headley,
Yes.
Jones.
Then the only other thing I had was, I wanted to apologize for the lateness of the cash report for the EMS, but everything is billed as of the runs we had up till yesterday.
Is Cody learning to bill?
He hasn't yet. He watches, but he hasn't actually done any hands-on with it. So,
Alrighty. Thank you.
thank you.
Park Board President Rick Belton, do you have anything to address council about?
I know we have signed our contract with the engineering people for the restroom over at Froggy Park. So I know that has been done, so we're pushing forward, hopefully going to get that built very soon, hopefully for sometime July. I think that's what we're looking for. Besides that, that's the only thing we got going. I do know that there were some questions that were brought up about Field 4 dugouts that were put in up there, and they were put up. Scott Bland took it on himself. The softball board paid their dollars to have that put together. The other one was about to fall down, and so he done what he thought was good. And so we just wanted to make sure that, you know, if anybody has any questions or concerns about it, that we can address it and, you know, we can keep moving forward.
My take on those dugouts, I think
Yes.
that should go to the park board before anybody drives a nail.
Well, we had brought it to the park board when we talked about it. I don't know if Eric remembers it or not, but we brought it to him in November about taking the old one down and putting new ones up.
But there has to be a basic plan,
Okay.
I think. Just my own thinking.
Okay, and the only questions we're getting
I
now.
applaud those that give and serve and help and do what they think is right, but I think down there needs to be consistency in the program a little bit.
Okay. And the other thing that I'm getting questions on now is, when are we gonna do something for the Field 1 for the little kids? And right now, the softball association's not at financial will be able to do that. And of course, I've asked Defiance County to help us, and of course, didn't never get anything back from them either, so.
You have to actually go over to their meeting. They meet every quarter. You can't just send a letter to them and hope that they're gonna respond. They want you to present to them.
All right.
And they'll help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can push that podium forward if you want to,
Okay.
Rick, but thank you for the report regarding that. And,
Yep.
Has, it's all decided what the place is gonna look like and where its location is?
We did submit a location drawing to you, Mayor. Did you get that from last time? They took a picture of it and sent it to you? Okay,
No,
all right. Yeah, there is a location picked for it.
since your park board meeting?
Yeah, it was the
Oh.
one before. Eric, remember we went over there and got a place where we decided to put that?
We had an idea.
An idea where we wanted to put it,
but
yeah.
We haven't seen I haven't seen a picture or layout of where it's gonna be at, or a
Okay.
picture of the actual building itself.
Yeah,
What's gonna be made out of,
Coming
or-
back to council.
okay.
So I guess I have concerns about the contract you said that was signed.
That's what Gary and Val said. And it was like, my question to them was the contract good for both buildings that they're looking to put in to build? You know, the one for the concession and the one for the bathroom. So.
And your answer was? The answer
And
was?
the answer was yes.
Okay. Troy, did you by chance see the contract before they signed it? Is it appropriate for them to sign a contract?
I don't know if they signed a contract. By reading this, it says that it was just that the $50,000 grant from the state was approved. And that they said that part of that money, the $50,000, would go towards paying the architects with those funds. And
Okay.
the cost will actually be for both projects, but this will all include just for that building and everything. I don't know if they actually signed a contract. I think
Okay,
it was guaranteed that the $50,000 was gonna go towards that project.
For that
I don't think they've
project.
Signed anything.
Okay, well, they had met with them, that's all I know. I didn't know what Val and Gary does, so I
Okay.
don't get all the stuff.
Ron, you got any more input?
All I know right now is that we supposedly have about $150,000
Right.
in grant money and.
And village money.
No.
And village money. Two grants.
Yeah.
One grant was for the splash pad, which we rid of.
Right.
And so that 50,000 will go toward the restrooms and the concession stand deal. Another 50,000 from nature.
Well, they're not for sure how much we're getting from the Nature's Grant yet.
That wasn't that much.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They might not end up even applying for nature work. I've not seen a contract for Feller Finch.
Okay. I hadn't either, so,
I guess until we get that.
They didn't even have the plan, I wasn't at when they came up to me, I wasn't at that meeting. I was the one prior to that, but.
Yeah, I wasn't at that meeting either.
Right.
They just met with them themselves.
I know they had been calling them, finding out where they were because it was taking a while. We had a good set of plans, kind of what they wanted, and.
This goes back to when the mayor and myself and Gary and Val met with Don Feller.
Right.
And got all that stuff ironed out, so I've been waiting on a contract from Don. And part of that then was gonna show some price estimates and that kind of stuff.
And that hasn't come back through yet.
Okay. I'll get with Val and Gary and see where that lies, so we can push forward, so we can quit paying for the porta potty out there.
yeah, well, just don't want to miss any deadlines.
No.
And so, do you happen to know why we would not be applying for a Nature Works grant?
We are.
Oh, you are?
It is still there. The thing is, they're saying we're probably looking at maybe $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh, okay.
Depends on what else.
That deadline was today. I would've thought you got more than 2,000 to 3,000, but after we had talked that day with Don, there's a chance we might not need it. If the timing worked out to get them both built this year between the cash and the state money, they were maybe gonna go that route. But at this point, I don't know, cause I've not seen any.
Who was
prices.
going to submit the Nature Works grant?
They were.
Feller's Finch had a lady that was
Yeah,
there.
they had a liaison.
Yeah, they filled it all out.
Last time I talked to him, that was like 2 months ago, I was asking, where are these plans? You know, we had given them to them, and that's when you guys had met with them in between that point.
Well, the park board gave Don Feller, I'm gonna call him generic for lack of a
Right.
better term,
Right.
plans, but Gary and Val, when they were up here, and correct me if I misunderstood, still wanted Feller Finch and the architect to design the building based on those plans. They weren't buying the package off the internet, so to speak.
Correct.
But beyond that, I've heard nothing since.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's more than that's something I didn't know either, so that's fine.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Fiscal Officers Report.
You have the cash month-to-date, year-to-date report, and the copy of the April revolving loan report. And tonight, Kim put her income tax report on for the month of April. There's also a letter from Ohio Gas that there's going to be a across-the-board rate increase.
My blood pressure's gotta go down on that one.
And there's a letter from the school inviting council members to the graduation.
Cheryl, on the revolving loan, you have everything as far as status, everything except the very last one.
He owes April.
That's pretty unusual.
It is because he uses a company and they're having a problem with it. I've already talked to him, and he's getting it straightened out.
Thank you. Reading your spot on the agenda here under the mayor's report. VA Representative Tanya Bruner meets with the area veterans at the Hicksville Community Service Center the first and last Wednesday of the month from 1 to 4. They no longer meet in this room. They meet at the Community Service Center, which is attached to the police department on West High Street. So if you are a veteran and you need some services, go see Tanya. And then also in the packet, you have some letters that we received from some concerned citizens. And I don't think there's any good way to read all these. But they are open to the public to read. And we have one from Deb Beverly, Lori Conley, Stan Sprin, Cindy Sprin, Jennifer Kemple, and a signature I can't read. And 4 of them relate to the article in the newspaper last week about the proposed golf course and running water or pipelines to the golf course. So, any questions or comments? All right.
Did you notice in that letter that is pulled off of the internet that Justin says if we don't want to make money off of sewage, that's okay. There's another system we can put in to collect sewage. And I think you ought to all look real hard at that. Also, he says that we, as in him and Tony, hired who the town told us, Pogomar Engineering. He's saying that he is paying Pogomar Design for their opinions. I thought the village was paying that.
We are, yeah.
Okay, going on then. I put just on your table tonight an email from Jerry Hayes that I thought I should share with all of you. It's kind of the first kind of steps he's taken toward a proposed community reinvestment area in Hicksville. So, is there anyone in the audience tonight that wanted to address council about anything? Okay. Well, I just want to remind you that our longtime police officer, Steve Talbot, is retiring, and there's going to be a party for him here in the council room this Friday, May 5th from 1 to 3. We'd love for the public to stop by and wish Steve a happy retirement. The Beautification Committee is having their plant sale May 12th and 13th, their annual plant sale. The Hospital Fit Walk is coming up. I'd like to remind residents and just reiterate, do not mow your grass in the streets. I have seen residents mow huge amounts of grass in the street, and I've had other residents come in and complain about it because they should know better. So, and they don't want their sewers plugged up. So I'll just reiterate what Kent Miller already said in his report. Please do not mow your grass in the street. And then prom is this Saturday, so there'll be a lot of kids cruising around town, and we wish everybody a safe and happy prom. And I have to say that I'm very sad that our community has lost its grocery store. Sorry to hear that Klein's is closed, and so it will be missed.
Definitely.
So we wish Jerry a happy retirement if that's what he's doing, so. Does anyone at the council table have anything else they'd like to say or address? Anything I forgot about?
I just remembered that me and Mike Bailey and we had Justin Kuhn, we went to the Tax Incentive Review Council last Wednesday, or April 19th, and we have several companies here that are part of that tax incentive plan. They are doing very well for the payback and what they've promised, job creation and their tax incentive. They're well above, and we were kind of looked at on this side of the county with these companies. It was AP Tool, or APT, Gordon Creek, FWT, and Hillendale are part of that program, but they're doing very well. So all the numbers were jived, and the amount of revenue and the job employment did well, so. But went to that meeting and listened for a while and had a good report, so.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Bassett?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Thank you.